What is going on, collectors? Optical 20 back for another video. So today we are going to talk about older figures. And I know you might be excited. You just got the new Batman armory, so you're feeling good about yourself. You're going to be like, hey, I'm going to complete the line. I just started a few years back. Let me research. Hey, I saw this Bank Robber Joker 2.0. It can't be that bad, right? Like, it's all fabric. What could go wrong? So just keep in mind, before you pull the trigger on these figures, there are still good figures, but keep this information in mind before you buy that, so at least you know what you're gonna go to. For the Bank Robber 2.0, the biggest issue is that you can see there's yellowing stain right there on his shirt. That is because of the glue that just becomes yellow over time in fabric. They used to, I think they still do use fabric glue, and unfortunately it just becomes yellow, and the only solution really is to buy a new shirt. There's Topo, eBay, all that stuff, so it's up to you. Next one would be Metal Gear Solid Ryden. I love Metal Gear series. Ryden, I think Revengeance back in the day, love it. So, and they don't make a whole lot. This August, a new Metal Gear game, well, not a new, it's remastered or reissued, Metal Gear Solid 3. So you might be feeling good about yourself. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go back and collect Metal Gear figures. And this is one of the better figures out there. Hot Toys only made a handful of these. So before you pull that trigger, make sure that there's an issue with this Ryden, and that is the elbow issue. So what happens is it doesn't stay in place. It always gets broken on the socket right there, so it doesn't stay in place. So what people did back in the day, this is back in 2015, was you open it up and then you fuse that joints. What happens is it just ends up breaking. So I did exactly, there's a tutorial. You guys are gonna flip out on this on forums. Back in the day, there's no Facebook groups or anything, so we log into forums, you share ideas, and here you go. Now mine at least can bend. I think there's one more click that I could go to, but I fixed mine. But keep in mind, if you buy yours, let's say even new or used, sealed in box for the past 10 years, you are gonna experience this issue. So for both arms, as a matter of fact, for both arms, I can't confirm if the red Ryden has the same issue. I know this one did. It will start off as good, and then it will eventually break the moment you move them. And continuing with the Metal Gear series here, both Solid Snake and the boss have some sort of an issue. Again, these are the only, I'm surprised as well that these are the only Metal Gear figures that we've gotten from Hot Toys. I know they are very popular in Asia as well, in Japan. So I would love to see more. I hope we get to see more, especially when the game comes out in August. Hopefully we get an announcement in October, and I'll be all over it. They're probably better looking models and all that stuff as far as PS5 graphics. So before you pull the trigger on both of these figures, they're very rare now, but man, look at this. I barely touch my figures, and I'm not in a humid place, and look at this. All the rubbers are kind of cracking now with Solid Snake, at the bottom there. And not only that, you see the orange bleeding out, the one where he stores his knife, and the boss was in pretty good shape up until I touched it, because I replayed Metal Gear 3 recently. So I decided, you know what, let me close the zipper, and there you go, it started flaking on me. Next one would be Teenage Groot from Marvel Avengers Infinity War. I always wanted this look because he appeared both in Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. I just kind of want to collect within that realm as much as possible, or if not, I just want to get all the figures that showed up, because for me that is peak Marvel right there. So Teenage Groot was a must-have for me. I had the older Groot from the first Guardians. I don't have the one from Guardians 3 yet, but I am gonna keep this one. But keep in mind, before you go on eBay, the single pack always have an issue. Well, the legs are gonna be broken, as you can see here. All of them, at least the single pack. The double pack with him and Rocket also has some issues, but not as widespread as the single pack Groot. Now, this is a very good looking figure. Like I said, a lot of texture, a lot of, swap outs and all that stuff. I bought mine knowing that it's gonna break, and then I just fused it. I just put super glue on it, and I know I'm not gonna bend it the way I wanted it to. All he needs to do is stand up on me. So this is currently broken, that I repaired myself. So as you can see there, I could move it around, if I'm just being kind of adventurous here. So I'm playing with fire. See, I can move them. Both legs are broken, by the way, but I'll fuse them again if it ever happens. So next one is Batman Begins. Now there's 3 versions now of Batman Begins. I'm only gonna comment on this. This is the V2 Batman Begins, the most recent one that we have gotten. There's also an issue with the 2011, I think that's summer exclusive, Batman Begins. Now this is kind of modified because of the cowl is a third party. So that in itself, that's not an issue. That's just Hot Toys not being accurate. Now for the V2 version of this, you are, let's talk about 2011 first. 2011, if you decide to pick that up, the biggest issue you're going to run into is the body. The body for that, it's a hit or miss. And that's going to be what, almost 14-year-old figure now. It's kind of sticky and it's rubber. So as you can see here, it's flaking. And this is back in the day. I'm talking about like 2012, this image that you're looking at. It's deteriorating right in front of our eyes. And the biggest issue was the ankle. So on the boots where the ankle just pegs in, it breaks. All of them, no exception. So this is how it looks like when you don't put the boots in. But yeah, that ball joint would have nothing to, it could rest in there, but eventually it'll go out. For V2, it's the shiny version. Look at this. The one on the right is the shiny version. I got lucky that I got the matte version. So, hey, it's roll of the dice. Just letting you know. And the last one, one of my favorite figures in the collection, and probably the one of the most sought after as well for newer ones, is the Christopher Reeve Superman. Now, this is older figure. This came out, I think, 2011 as well. So it's not, it's not on par with the newer figures now with rolling eyeball system and all that stuff. Better proportions and all that good stuff, better hands. But it is the only figure that we have at the moment. And you can see here, because this logo is like an iron-on logo of some sort, like a t-shirt, they crack. Some of them would race here on the sides. I've been lucky that it hasn't happened to me yet, and I've had this since the release. So crossing my fingers, it doesn't happen to me. The head sculpt, as you can see, the eyes is a little dated. But hey, but that's not an issue. It's just technology. But the biggest issue here was the neck, because back then, every figure that has a neck, like this Bane, an older one as well, they crack at the connector. See, you can see my Bane here because I tried to repair it. I repaired my Superman. So this is how the connector looks like, and it would break. Bane, Hawkeye, Superman, anything with the neck would kind of break. That's just how the figures back then. And then you buy a replacement on eBay, you're gonna have to heat it up for it to just fit on the connector inside the body. So as you can see, mine is just this is the replacement one from eBay. Yeah, it's not pretty, but no one's gonna see it anyway. So you just pop it inside there and hope you're at the right time when it's heat up and soft that it'll go through. So final thoughts on these figures. They are sought after. Some of them are very rare. Like these Metal Gear, they never even made a second one. Hopefully they do, but it's been years. Ryden, they made a second one, the red one, but that's more of a variant for this Ryden than V2. This Batman Begins, hopefully in art, or maybe Hot Toys makes a newer version. God knows they made several versions now of the Dark Knight suit, but I hope they get it. This one, I don't know. Dark Knight doesn't seem to be selling all that well. Selena Kyle saw it on the shelves. She's still in there. Bane was sought after, so you never know. And then Christopher Reeve, supposedly in art, is making one, but who knows? It might take 2-3 years. They haven't announced any pre-orders yet, so I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. But all of these figures, some of them are expensive, like Reeve Superman is kind of expensive now. I don't know the market for Metal Gear. I didn't really check. Groot is always broken, so it's a hit or miss. But there's a lot more, and maybe these are the ones just on top of my head that I actually do have in my collection. But if you want to know more, if you're kind of newer, maybe I'll make another video for other figures who has known issues. So before you pull that trigger, as long as you know these issues and you know what you're gonna go through and you know the solution, then good luck. But they're still pretty good in my opinion, and I don't want to get rid of them. But let me know in the comments, what do you think about this video? If you like, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.